Today, we're going to trace the absolutely incredible journey of a fungus. Seriously, it started out as just a simple bread mold, then became the star of a Nobel Prize-winning experiment, and now it's showing up as a powerful new partner for farmers who are facing some of the toughest challenges out there. It's an amazing story. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll dig into the silent crisis that's happening in our soil. Then we'll meet our unlikely hero, this mold with a Nobel Prize in its past. After that, we'll uncover its 4 hidden superpowers, understand why its rugged nature is perfect for the farm, and finally see how all this powerful science actually gets delivered from a lab right into a farmer's field.
All right, let's start with the foundation of everything, the soil. There's a silent crisis going on right under our feet, and it's creating huge challenges for agriculture, especially across India. To really get why a new solution is so badly needed, we've got to ask the big question. What is actually holding our farms back? What are the real-world problems that farmers are up against day in and day out?
Well, the list is pretty long. We're seeing soil degradation on a massive scale. And here's a huge one: nutrient lockup. This means nutrients like phosphorus and zinc are actually in the soil, but they're chemically trapped, so plants can't get to them. That makes fertilizers way less efficient. On top of that, you've got the rising cost of chemicals, way more stress from heat and drought, and a constant battle with diseases in the soil. It's a perfect storm, really, and it means we need a smarter approach.
And that brings us to our unlikely hero. Now, this isn't some new chemical or a fancy GMO seed. It's a fungus with a surprisingly famous past. Its name is Neurospora crassa.
The story of this fungus is just wild. Way back in 1843, it was just this annoying red mold messing up bread in French bakeries. But then, 100 years later, 2 scientists, Beadle and Tatum, saw something special in it. They used it for these brilliant experiments that, in 1958, won them the Nobel Prize. They figured out that specific genes make specific enzymes, a discovery that basically kicked off the entire field of molecular genetics. And now, today, that very same organism is getting a new life as a solution for our farms.
And you can't overstate how important this was. One of the scientists on that project, Norman Horowitz, said these experiments were the opening gun in what became molecular genetics. I mean, just think about that. The science that was discovered using this humble mold literally changed how we understand life itself.
So how does a Nobel-winning lab specimen become a farmer's best friend? Well, it all comes down to 4 incredible natural abilities. Let's call them its 4 superpowers for the soil.
See, this fungus is what we call a biostimulant. Now, that's a sciencey term, but the idea is simple. It doesn't feed the plant directly like a fertilizer. Instead, it wakes up the plant's own natural abilities to make it stronger and work better. And it does this in 4 main ways. It supercharges root growth, it unlocks trapped nutrients, it manages the iron supply, and it boosts the plant's own immune system. Let's break each one down.
First, it supercharges the plant's engine, the roots. Neurospora naturally pumps out a really powerful plant hormone called auxin. This hormone is like a signal that tells the plant, hey, grow more roots, especially those active little white roots that do most of the heavy lifting, soaking up water and nutrients. A bigger root system means a stronger plant. Simple as that.
Second, it acts like a microscopic key. Remember that nutrient lockup problem? Well, Neurospora tackles this head-on by releasing organic acids into the soil. These acids basically dissolve the chemical bonds that are holding onto nutrients like phosphorus and zinc, setting them free for the plant to use. It makes the fertility that's already in the soil available to the crop.
And if you want to know just how powerful this is, get this. Right around itself, this fungus can drop the soil pH from a neutral 7 all the way down to a very acidic 4.5. That is a massive chemical shift, and it's exactly what's needed to pry those nutrients loose for the plant. Third, it's a master of iron. Iron is crucial for plants, but it's often hard to get. So Neurospora makes these special molecules called cytophores, which are like little iron magnets. They grab onto iron and deliver it right to the plant's roots. But here's the genius part. By grabbing all the available iron, they also starve out a lot of the bad guys, the harmful microbes that also need iron to survive. So it feeds the plant and protects it at the same time.
And finally, its 4th superpower. It acts like a natural vaccine. Just by being there, little fragments from the fungus's cell wall trigger a defense alert in the plant. It's a system called induced systemic resistance. It's like the fungus is giving the plant a heads up, getting its immune system ready to fight off future attacks from pests and diseases much more effectively.
Okay, so we've got these 4 amazing powers. But here's the billion-dollar question.
What makes this specific fungus so perfect for the tough, real-world conditions you find in a place like India? It turns out its natural toughness is one of its greatest strengths.
And this is so important. Unlike a lot of biologicals that are kind of fragile, Neurospora is a survivor. It didn't evolve in a nice, clean lab. It evolved to be one of the first things to grow after a fire. So it's built to thrive where other things can't. This table really lays it all out. Its spores can survive temperatures over 60 degrees Celsius. That's a huge deal for hot summer crops in India. It also grows incredibly fast. We're talking up to 10 centimeters a day. That lets it take over the root area quickly and crowd out the bad microbes. Its natural connection to fire means it's right at home in fields where crop residue is burned. And maybe the most amazing part? They found native strains of it in the salty soils of Kutch, which means it's already adapted to the high salt, low water stress that so many Indian farmers deal with.
So this brings us to our final section. How do you take all of this incredible Nobel Prize level science and turn it into a simple, reliable tool that a farmer can actually pick up and use? This is where the science has to meet the soil. You know, it's one thing for a fungus to do amazing things in a perfect lab setting, but how do you make that happen reliably across millions of acres of real, messy, unpredictable farmland? The answer is through advanced biotechnology. Scientists have figured out how to grow the fungus carefully and then package it into a stable, easy-to-use product. That's how you take all this deep science and put it in a bag that's ready for the field. A product like GeoLife Vigor is a perfect example of this science in action. And the results out in the real world? They speak for themselves. Field trials have shown real tangible benefits, things like better yields in rice, healthier growth and quality in tomatoes, and tougher, more resilient chili plants. And the common thread across all of them is a stronger, healthier root system, which is the foundation for everything else. But look, with any new technology, especially a biological one, trust is everything. A farmer needs to know that what they're buying is safe, that it's consistent, and that it actually works. And that is where regulation becomes absolutely essential. In India, that trust is built through something called the Fertilizer Control Order, or the FCO. This legal framework is a huge deal for biostimulants. It sets clear rules and standards for quality, safety, and effectiveness. It protects farmers from bad products and makes sure that when they buy a solution based on this incredible science, they can be confident that what's on the label is actually what's in the bag. So, from a pest in a French bakery, to a breakthrough that won a Nobel Prize, to a tough-as-nails microbe working in the soil to help feed us, the journey of Neurospora crassa is nothing short of remarkable. And it leaves you with a really big thought. With its power to heal soil, make nutrients more efficient, and build resilience from the ground up, could it be that the next great agricultural revolution is fungal?